The following is an exclusive presentation of Jesup Broadcasting, the sports leader in Southeast Georgia.
World famous. The world famous Butch and Bob Show.
Listening to the Big Dog, WIFO FM in Jesup, 105.5 Leader FM dial. Butch Jeopardy here with you along with Bob Morgan here on this Thursday morning, the 20th day of December. It is now time for the world-famous Butch and Bob Show, brought to you by the Women's Health Center in downtown Jesup on Chariot Broad, by Murphy Builder Supply on Northeast Broad Street, by Wolf Animal Hospital on West Cherry Street, and by Mike Birch Ford in Blackshear. Good morning, Bob.
Good morning.
How are you doing?
I'm good.
You have worn that Pittsburgh Steelers cap every day this week. You must have been excited about their victory over New England on Sunday because you just keep wearing it. You haven't changed yet.
Got to get them fired up for Sunday. They got to beat the Saints.
That's going to be a tough one for them. Well, we've got the city manager, Mike Dillon, this morning here on the world-famous Butch and Bob Show. And, Bob, what you going to be talking to him about?
Oh, what's going on in the city? Like I said, it's been a good week. We had David Poinsett, the wrestling coach, on Tuesday. Yesterday, blessed to have the sheriff and Donnie Ray in on Wednesday. And today, we got city manager Mike Dillon, because there's a lot going on in the city of Jesup. The city had their final meeting of the year on Tuesday. Had a nice party after that, which was nice. But, you know, we've been talking about all the construction underway in Wayne County. I guess we'll start with the Cracker Williams Recreation Center. Talk to you and Bill Harvey. All the construction right now is taking place inside, so if you go by, you really don't see what's going on, but the prison labor's been in there doing a whole facelift on that building, right, Mike?
Yes. We're doing a lot of work on that building. It's going to be a really nice building. We're going to fix it up as best we can, kind of not doing a lot of changes to the structure, but just a real big facelift to it.
New floor, new air conditioners.
Oh, yeah.
New restrooms, the whole 9 yards.
Finally got some new air conditioners that hopefully will cool the place off in the middle of summer. That's been a problem forever, and we got those new air conditioners in there, and that's going to be really good. It's going to be a destination place, I think.
No, in years past, that building's been used for many reunions, weddings, things like that, so it'll be rented out once it's renovated, just like what's in the past. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And then once they get the inside, there's going to be a lot done on the outside. A lot more playground equipment will be brought in. I understand you said that old merry-go-round, they said that needs to stay, or that, I don't know, this is a merry, what's it called? But anyway, they said it's an antique. Don't mess with that. They're going to renovate it.
It's, we still got it. It's being renovated and painted, sandblasted. We're going to put it back in there. That's one of the most popular playground equipment that's in there. One of the most popular playground equipment.
Not telling how many parents and grandparents have run themselves to death pushing their kids around that thing.
Oh, we have to haul dirt in all the time. Dig a ditch around it.
Bill Harvey made a good point. I mean, I drive by there just about every day, but every time I go by there, there's a bunch of people there using that park and using that playground equipment. I thought one night I went home and it was late, but somebody had their car and had the headlights directed towards that playground.
Yeah, one little tidbit of bad news. We talked with the construction guys, and, you know, we're using mobile construction inmate guys to do all the work in there, and they're requiring that we close that down during the weekdays. So they'll be from Monday to Thursday. It's going to be closed during the day. And, of course, it's dark at night, so we'll probably just close it completely and then open it back on the weekend. And I hate to do that because a lot of people go in there, but it's just something we got to do for safety and make the guys in charge of the prison guys feel more comfortable. And it's just the right thing to do, something we got to do. We talked about that early on, and we decided we probably could leave it open and work around that, but it's come to the point that, and nothing happened, but their concern and their concern is our concern, so we're going to just close it down.
And the big question everybody asks about the pool, I mean, that's still something that you're trying to bring back to that center, is that correct?
Yeah, we feel pretty good about the pool. We've done a lot of exploration in that pool. And done a lot of work on what can be done to renovate it and bring it back. It's still going to be an old pool, but we're going to put a facelift on that pool too. We've applied for a grant to redo that pool, and that's the reason we're not doing anything right now. We can't do anything until we get that grant, and we think we're going to get that grant sometime after the first of the year, maybe middle of the year, and the grant's pretty much going to pay for all the construction with us doing the work and with the inmates doing the work. We're going to go in and we found a liner that we can put in. It's not anything like the regular liners that goes in a small pool in your backyard. It goes in piece by piece, and it glues onto that outer wall. And it's going to be nice. The way I picture it, and from what I see, there's other college pools that's been done like that, and it works real good. One of the things we were concerned about, that liner is about 1/4 of an inch thick, and in order to have meets in that pool, it has to be a 25-yard pool. It can't be 24 3/4. It has to be 25 yards. Well, when we measured it, that pool is a little bit longer, and it's about 2 inches longer than 25 yards. So it worked out really good for us. And that, I'm thinking back to my old when my kids were swimming, and I was so involved in swimming, and our times were a little bit slower. That half inch was killing us. So,
and the thing about it is, in swimming, as we all know from watching the Olympics, that a tenth of a second can be all the difference in the world. Yeah. When you're saying 25 feet, are you talking about 25 feet straight across, not the deep end, but the used to be the former shallow end?
Yeah, the swim lanes.
Okay, now what about going the L direction where it was deep, or what's going to be in that direction?
I think our goal right now is to fill in a portion of that deep end and make it the same depth as the regular competition section.
So be 4 feet as talked about before.
That's correct.
Through the whole pool, the size it was before, but just 4 feet for competition and for play.
Yeah, and the thing about it, if you're out there practicing for a swim meet or just practicing for the swim team, you could actually swim if you'll get your start times and everything right. You can swim in both directions, so I'd give them twice the area to swim, and that's going to be up to the coach to figure that out on how he can do it. But when they make a turn, he can start that other, and so they run together a time or two. They rub their heads and go on and swim through.
Well, some people do put the 4-foot pool in their backyard, so you can play, pool volleyball and other games in there and still be able to swim. Somebody just texted in, are they going to have basketball goals at the park? And they also said, keep up the good work.
Yeah, thank you. That's we haven't totally decided what all we're going to do. Basketball is a little bit different than other activities. One of the issues with basketball is they like to play at night, and you're in the middle of a residential area.
Oh, Eric across the street probably wouldn't put up with that.
I wasn't going to bring that up.
I didn't mention last names.
But there's some hesitation, but we might, just have that area just for daytime play. But there's a good bit of hooping and hollering with basketball.
There's splash pads, things like that. That's still in the works, or
it's still in the back of our mind. We want to do that. Everybody tells us we need to do it in the downtown area, but there's a ton of extra costs there, and we got to watch what we do. And
what was those again?
A splash pad.
Splash pad, yeah.
But I think we'll have room for some. And it don't have to be as big as the ones in Savannah and other areas if you dedicate a small area out there, especially for the small kids, and they're the ones that really like that.
It's a work in progress. I know people ask all the time, what's the time frame? So I know it's already underway, inside the building, things like that. Is there a time frame that the city's like and hoping this is project's
like a politician, Bob? I'm not
is it
one.
Gonna be
most people that,
May 31st. Is it going to be September 10th or what?
Most people that know me know that I don't worry a lot about time. We're going to work on it. We're going to do it right. We're going to do it with the least expense we can do. And when it opens, it opens. I'm that kind of guy.
When you look at the playground area, what will people see once it's finished? What's going to look like?
Well, we got a pretty good playground over there now, and we talked about early on just going over and taking everything out and bringing everything new in. Well, that's not what we need to do. Those kids love it. Like you said, Bob, it stays full now. So what we're going to do is we're going to add to it. We're going to buy some new. We're going to build some new. If you've been to the one in Scriven, that's completely homemade, and those kids love it. It's pretty neat. When we go over there to play ball, my grandkids love that playground, and it's homemade stuff. And
I understand that you're going to put some stuff in there that the smaller kids can actually play on, because some of that equipment out there, you got to be a little taller to play on it.
Yeah, we're going to do some stuff for the younger kids, and we got a lot of stuff for the younger kids. We're going to do some more, and one of the most important things, we're going to do something for the handicapped kids. It won't be a lot, but we're going to do some swings, one or two swings, and one or two other activities for the handicapped kids.
Well, as a person who, grew up here, but I didn't grow up here. I moved here when I was 14 years old, but when we moved here, we moved to to that area off Magnolia Street, and used to go there all the time and go to the pool and stuff like that, and then been back in Jesup since '92 after graduating high school. It's good to see that Cracker Williams is coming back to life. There for a while there, we didn't know what was going to happen with it, but it's good to have that center of recreational activity right there in the middle of town.
Yeah, it is, and it was a little tough to once you'd gotten out of that business. It's a little bit tough as a manager to take that back on, because there'll be some headaches and there'll be some complaints and stuff. But in the long run, it's all good, and that's kind of what we're about. Trying to help the citizens of this community enjoy something. I
know that y'all are redoing the big recreational hall there. What about the craft center to the left of it there?
Yeah, I think we discussed taking that building down and making it aesthetically pleasing as you drive in. But there again, if you've been here forever, it don't really take a lot away from the looks of that whole building. If you're coming in for the first time ever, and we don't have a lot of those people, it would look a lot better with that building gone. And
if you keep it there, will it still be used for crafts and stuff? And
it can be.
It can be if you keep it there.
I think they have a place dedicated for those guys right now. Okay. But if there's it could be a small meeting room if you have.
It could,
if your business wanted to have a retreat or whatever. That building's got a room that's big enough to do that, and we can do some of that. And there's endless possibilities of that, what that building can be.
Bob, I know there's other subjects you want to talk about.
I just want to move on first. Like I said, if you just joined us, City Manager Mike Deal, the town hall meeting wasn't that long ago. It was the farmers' coldest night of the year, by the way. It's freezing, but a lot was discussed, and one thing was discussed is all the new businesses are coming. People can see the construction down there on First Street, the old Walker Chevrolet, and that's still secretive what's coming there, but the strip mall was there with Dunkin' Donuts, Little Caesars, and the sandwich shop, and Hog and Bones is under construction. That's coming. Am I missing anything? There's some other Arbys. Where's Arbys? People keep asking, where's the Arbys coming?
It's out on First Street at the big curve out there. Property on the right going out of town.
Near the funeral home?
Across from
the funeral home. So, right. So Arbys is coming, Hog and Bones is under construction, the strip mall, and then something's coming on that corner walk.
Yeah.
Somebody just texted that in. What's going on the First and Cherry Street?
Apparently they're mad because Popeyes was coming and Popeyes backed out. So now they're trying to keep everything hush-hush. What the word is, nobody's telling us.
I don't think it's. I don't know, and I guess it's a good thing, because I'd be sitting there lying to you, telling you I don't know what's coming in, because I'd be sworn to secrecy. But
so you know what's coming there?
No, I don't. I don't know. I talked to April a few days ago, and I said, "All right, come on, tell me what's coming." And she kind of laughed. Said, "No, we've had it under contract 3 times, and it fell through, so we're not telling." But she did say we'd be happy to see what comes there. And
so something's coming there on that corner.
Something is coming there.
Right. They cleaned it up pretty nice. I mean,
Yeah,
it's kind of, all those years going by, I seen the building. It's kind of weird to drive by there and there's nothing there.
That's right. We're excited about our growth, Bob. But you know, you go for so long and you don't do anything after the 08 crisis, and you don't build a house. You've been building 4 and 5 houses in the city a year, and you don't do anything. You don't have any new businesses coming in, and then all of a sudden, boom, you get all this stuff coming in. And last year, if you remember, when we were talking about the digest, our digest in the city grew by $3 million, and it's gonna top that. I don't know that it will double that, but it's gonna come pretty close. We got I think we got 3 houses going on right now, and we got all those businesses going on. It's good times.
Yeah, we report on the town hall meeting. Just a couple of topics came up. People talk about these abandoned houses, but I thought they made a good point. They talked about how expensive it is. You just don't go in there and just bulldoze somebody's property down. And they brought up the fact that one house over there, that nice neighborhood, $250,000 home, they built 3/4 of it and just walked away from it and it just sat there for eons, and the city had to jump through hoops and go through legal process, and it was a very expensive process, but eventually it was finally torn down. But I thought it was a good thing to explain to people. You just can't go in there and just tear somebody. I mean, there's legal aspects of it. It's a very costly thing.
That's a very sad situation. Somebody goes in and spends all of their money, all their inheritance or whatever, all the money they have building a beautiful house. It's going to be the best house in the neighborhood, and then they fell on hard times. And, we talked about it took us 2 years. Actually, it took us 8 years to get that thing demolished. And, I don't want to do that, and the city commissioners don't want to do that. But once it got in, and we worked with them every way we could to try to bring it back and let them finish. And it was a nightmare. And then all of a sudden you get to the point, and it's still no fun going in and tearing that thing down when you see all of that stuff that was in there.
Well, the city gets bombarded from both sides, too, the family and then all the neighbors, because, like I said, unfortunately, just sat there and kids were in there, and the vandalism started, and there was it just became a nightmare for that neighborhood. So
one case in point, and I don't think I've mentioned this since the day it happened. We were all over there. We had to have several different employees over there, fire department, street department, and the day we burned it, and one of my guys took a picture and put it on Facebook. And I blew my top. I said, "Look, you don't do this. We can't do this. You're making all the neighbors in the neighborhood happy by taking it down. But there's also those folks that tried to build that are very sad, and we can't. We just got to be quiet and watch it. If you enjoy it coming down, that's fine. If you're sad about it coming down, that I understand your grief, but it's a terrible situation. That's one of the worst issues that we had. It cost us a ton of money through litigation to try to get that thing down, and going through court and this, that, and the other. So it's not all good by any stretch.
City, like I said the last time, Tuesday they passed ordinances. Sunday alcohol sales passed, which was something that was put before the city voters. So those are taking place now. I asked the question, does anybody know how much money that will generate? It's going to be a wait-and-see process. It'll be a year before we know what the impact is for the city.
And I'm thinking it's going to generate a considerable amount of tax money for us, and that's good. Tax money's good. That's what we live by. Is Sunday alcohol sales good? I don't know. I think it gives us an advantage, and this is my manager side now. It gives us an advantage to grow with different companies coming in, maybe with different restaurants coming in, maybe with different types of folks.
Well, you would never get an Applebee's or Ruby Tuesdays or a Chili's or anything like that to come in this town But now you may.
Yeah, that was the thing that they pointed out. Like Butch just mentioned, that was a roadblock for all those restaurants.
That's right.
They would come in, it'd be on, no, we don't have any Sunday alcohol sales. And they said, okay, thanks, we're going somewhere else. So that roadblock's been taken away. So hopefully down the road, maybe a franchise such as they just mentioned would come to Wayne County.
Well, I'm still hoping and praying for a little small motel to come in, a real nice upscale motel. And you know about that, Bob. You see all the sports teams that the teams that go out of town.
Headache too. Like I said, I tell people all the time, look, the city jumped through hoops. They brought down the health department. They brought everybody to help out. And, I mean, the laws that prevent you from doing anything with those, and that was just crazy. I mean,
what would you consider a small
act of Congress to get them to
upscale motel? How many rooms? What do you think?
Well, I think you have to have something around 50 or 60 to make it a break-even process to try to make money on it. So it's kind of tough for somebody. You know, Baxley had 3 of their local guys to go in and build a hotel.
And Douglas did the same thing several years ago, too.
And I'd like to see that happen here, but, you know, people like to put their money into something profitable. What I want to see is another one with more rooms. You know, we have a very successful bed and breakfast. It's the old Trowel House down there, and I think it stays full most of the time. And these are people coming through, and I tell people all the time, you need to go down there and stay. And if there's an open room down there when they stay and they come back and we meet, everything's all positive and all good. They love it. But I still want to, and you probably heard me say this, Bob, I want to see the old Ingleside come back as a bed and breakfast. And there's probably... it's amazing building. There's probably 15 rooms up there that could be made into that, and 20
Right
rooms.
there at the tracks?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The old Ingleside.
Yeah, Cherry at Broad Street.
Ton of history on that
A
place.
lot of history there.
Yeah, another move that the city made, I'm not sure if people are aware of this, but it's been reported, elections are coming up this year, and the city took a progressive approach. They're going to have staggered terms where, to avoid the fact that, you know, sometimes we've had clean sweeps of everybody, you know.
I know about that.
And that's,
Get out of here.
but that's not a good thing in a sense, because, as they mentioned, is you have to have people on there to kind of know the ropes and what's going on. So the city decided to do staggered terms where 3 districts have opted to just have 2 years, you know. So instead of having a full slate.
Yeah, that's big for us. As a matter of fact, Bob, I've been ahead of that broom a time or two. I didn't have hold of the handle. I was in the sweep. but you know, managing a small city and small city politics is a totally different game. It can be a lot of fun, and it can be not so fun at times. But that is a very important. I wanted to see that for a long, long time, and we finally mentioned that in a retreat one time, and we've followed that through. I think it's big. I think it's big for local politics. I think it's big for the city. You need someone. There's a growing period, and when a new person gets elected, the last thing they want to hear is from a manager say, just stand back now and make sure you learn this process. They come in with their gloves on, wanting to do this, do that, and there's a learning process. You can't know all about politics in a short period of time. Politics is not a bad thing. There's politics in everything you do, and it's some of the politicians that makes politics bad. So you got to come in and understand, and I think we got that. You'll have some guys that's been there. If people get kicked out every time, you still got some guys that's been there 2 years, and 2 years is a good learning curve. You learn a lot in 2 years. You take that politician that comes in with the gloves and wanting to change everything, and you talk to him after 2 years, he'll tell you, you know, that old manager was kind of right. He does know a little bit more than we give him credit for. So, you know, move slow and get your feet on solid ground, and then you find out what makes government tick. And government is totally different than a regular business. You know, most of them come, especially the businessmen, come into politics. Oh, we're going to run it like a business. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. No. Business is generated by the people that walk in that front door. When you're dealing with the general public, you got to deal with everybody that you don't ever see. They're not walking in your front door. You know, the people that you don't know, the people that you never see are still out there trying to help you make decisions. So it's totally different. Now, money-wise, you got to manage your money wisely, or really bad things will happen. But as long as you manage your money wisely and try to take care of your citizens, you're not going to make them all happy. I get calls every day about things that we don't do right. But, you know, you just do the best you can, and people will understand.
We've got Jesup City Manager Mike Deal in the studio with us this morning talking about what's happening in the city of Jesup, the city government.
And a big event coming up in January. We've been promoting this. Shirley Armstrong's been an advocate. Citywide cleanup, something that the city manager deals with all the time. These calls, there's trash here, there's trash there. Can you come pick this stuff? You know, that's, but the citywide cleanup effort is going to take place January 11th and 12th. I know they're trying to get organizations to help clean up, and that should be working, but I guess the landfill will be open that day, and how's all that going to work on?
Yeah, we're going to, it's going to be open half a day on Saturday, and it'll be open on Friday. And we're going to try to have some places where we can store or whatever, and that's not a good thing, offloading and loading back and having to haul it, but we want to haul it all we can, and we need extra trailers and stuff to do it, but we got our new truck, so that'll help. You know, it's just a mindset. You can't go out in a day and a half and clean up Jesup. You can polish it up pretty good, but it's a mindset. If you get people thinking about, yeah, we are in pretty bad shape as far as trash and everything, but it's a day-to-day operation. You get them in that mindset and let them clean up for a day and a half and let them see something that's really going on. And then the next day or on Monday, they clean up something else. On Tuesday, they clean up, and then the next week and the next month, and it's just keeps going on. And I think it's going to be an annual thing. And we've done it in the past, and you can make a difference. We do a pretty good job of trying to keep this city clean. The police department's got a crew now that's doing community service, and we're going to expand that program a little bit. We're not have not been set up to clean up mixed trash piles in the past. We're going to try to do that. It's going to be extra burden on the taxpayer. I can tell you, it's going to chip into our funds a little bit. But you know, I think it's probably the thing to do. It's a service we need to do, and it's something we need to do.
I think a good turnout's going to take place. Like I said, we're going to have luncheon that Saturday after the work on Saturday, but I think it'll be a good thing. Just hoping for good weather. You just never know what the weather is in January, but yeah, hopefully we'll get decent weather and people come out and help out and clean up the city.
I was on Nick the other day. I said, "Come on, man! Why the last weekend of hunting season? last weekend of deer season?" But he said, I didn't think about that, but you can take another day off. So.
I want to read this right here that was texted in. Mike, this is somebody who texted this in, folks, here up on our computer screen. Mike Dill is the icon of local government, one of the most knowledgeable men in the state on government. Jesup is blessed to have him.
Wow.
There you go.
There you go.
Did your wife send that in?
Deal on there? Did I just say Mike?
One final thing for you guys.
They said Mike Deal.
I don't want to age this, but you've been in this a long time. I've been in a long time, seen mayors come and go. How good is Mayor Keith?
I was going to bring that up while you asked me or not.
I got to give kudos because
I can tell you how good he is.
I tell people he runs a meeting very efficiently. He's got that personality.
Bob.
I was just telling that to Bob the other day. He just seems like he enjoys being mayor. He has a passion for it.
He is the best mayor in the state of Georgia. And the only reason I cannot say he's the best mayor in the state of Florida is because I don't know any of them. But I'm going to tell you, and he's going to scold me probably. But it's a pleasure working with that guy. Yeah, does he get excited? Yeah, he does, but it's behind closed doors, and we have some conversation, and he always, when he got elected, I said, "This is gonna be fun. This is gonna be fun for me. This is gonna be fun for you." And we'll sit down every now and then. He said, "Where's the fun, brother? Where's the fun?" So, but he's perfect. He's perfect.
He just can bring people together. He's got that personality. You can't help but like him.
One thing you don't ever see.
Like I said, I told people that story. We get many trips to Athens, Washington, Georgia, and he would tell me that's what he wanted to be. He wanted to be the mayor, and I thought he was. For a long time, I thought he was joking, but then I realized he was serious. He ran and won, and he's just brought a lot to the city of Jesup, I think. And
one thing most people don't see that I see it every day. There's a sensitive side to David Earl, and he cares, and he don't want to upset people, and I tell him from time to time, look, this is going to work out. You need to just bog through this. If you make somebody mad, he never want to make anybody mad. He wants to, and that's hard to do,
right.
and that makes his job a lot tougher. And we get to the point. Look. Let me handle it. If they want to get mad with me, that's okay.
I just think he's brought a lot to the city.
Oh,
it's been a blessing. Like I said, he runs a very organized meeting, and he can just diffuse situations. He's just got that knack, and I'm just glad.
He's a man. We got some good folks too.
The city's in good shape. Like I said, a lot going on, a lot of progress. Like I said, I think people are excited about the Cracker Williams facelift. Yeah. It's going to, just a lot to come in 2019. Should be a good year.
Yeah, I'm just a blessed manager. I got good folks in front of me on the city council and the mayor, and I got some great folks underneath. I don't get it. And maybe the older I get, maybe something else changes. But I don't get the complaints I used to get. And we don't have the issues. Do we have to fire people? Yes, we do. Because you're going to get a bad one every now and then, and you're going to make mistakes. Man, in 45 years, I made a ton of them. I look back and say, ooh, I got out of that one. Squeaked by that one. That was stupid. But we got good folks, top to bottom, and we'll make mistakes. And people will see them. Give me a call when you see them, and let me know what's going on, and we'll try to correct them if our service is not what you expect. Give me a call. Tell me what you think. Tell me how we can improve it. And if you've been in this business as long as I have and you haven't learned something, you're pretty dumb.
And one final thing I forgot to mention, another building coming in 2019, the new Wolf Animal Hospital construction will be underway shortly. That'll be another asset to the city.
Oh, that's going to bring up that digest a little bit. That's going to be neat. I don't know if you've been in there, Bob, but I happen to have a real small son. It's 3 years old. His name's Buck. He's on 4 legs. And I go in there pretty often because his mama's going to make sure he's taken care of. I told one of my other grandsons, who actually Suzanne's grandson, my step-grandson the other day, that done something to Buck. I said, hold on, buddy. I said, your grandmama loves you a lot, but you come in second to that dog. So we go down pretty often, and we got to go today. Actually, he's got a little issue, but they are busy down there.
They're busy.
That new hospital is going to be so nice.
It's good to have a couple of more veterinarians working with them. And they've got those mobile ones also.
It's amazing.
And a final thing here, and people ask every so often, is there any plans, any future, anything looking positive toward the old Kmart shopping center there? It's got a few businesses there, but you still got a lot of empty space there.
Yeah. There's people talking about... I think that property sold recently. I'm not sure, but the guy that bought it has some ideas, and I've been looking for him to come in and start some of his building process and putting some stuff in there. But I haven't heard, and that's an issue he's working with David Earl on. He'd called David Earl and talked to him about what he's going to do, but I don't need to say what he's going to do, but I think something will happen, and we got a new Tape It building out there. That's going to be big for us.
Yeah, and then, a lot of these malls that are closing up around. I say closing up. A lot of these malls are losing their retail folks in there, like a Penny's or a Sears or something like that, and other smaller ones are revamping themselves, redoing themselves, redesigning themselves into just other space other than just retail. And maybe this is something they'll do out there in that area. I don't know.
Yeah, I think they got some plans. I know we're running out of time. I think they have some plans for that. We're a little unusual, Every town has a center that everything goes into. We don't have that. We spread ours out. We got downtown Cherry Street. It's very viable.
Right.
Very viable. Excited about that. Proud of what those guys do up there. We got the Walmart center
area
that's very viable. A lot of places around it. And then we got the Kmart. And it's just spread out, and Kmart's lagging behind right now, but I think they'll catch up. For every store that goes empty downtown, somebody's knocking on the door.
They are. That's great. We got a great downtown. You work right through some of these other small towns. Oh, is that something else or what?
Yeah, that's neat stuff.
He's going to expand and put a restaurant in there as well. So,
yeah, he's showing that to me at the Christmas parade, what all he's going to be doing in there. Ralph and Jamie going to be, expanding.
Yeah, my phone's buzzing now. It's probably Ralph calling.
There you go. Well, Mike, I was going to see him.
Now, Ralph will be texting up here. We'd have a text come up here on the screen right now.
All right, thank you, guys. Thank you for what y'all do. Thank you for your support.
Merry Christmas there, Mike.
Thank you.
All right. 105.5 FM in Jesup, Big Dog Country Radio, WIFO, and the world-famous Butch and Bob Show, brought to you by Mike Birch Ford in Blackshear, by Murphy Builder Supply, Northeast Broad Street in downtown Jesup, by the Women's Health Center in downtown Jesup, and by Wolf Animal Hospital on West Cherry Street.
The world-famous Butch and Bob Show.